Hey folks, how you doing? Today's message on Well Today. It's gonna be a short message. Let you get back to your holiday and everything. What I wanted to come on here today to talk about. This actual video is for those that I'm dealing with on a regular basis. The men and women who I help to service on a week in and week out basis, and I'm constantly talking to people and giving insights and everything, and helping them build what they're building and do what they're doing, and just giving them some insight, some encouragement, what have you. But this message is for them, and I'm just actually sharing it so that everybody else can hear my message to them. My message to you folks is you're on the way. You're there. You're there. You possess something that most other people don't. You possess a drive and a will that really surpasses the average person and everything. I deal with you on a regular basis. I know. I hear you. I feel you. And we're definitely in another time. And the reality of it is it is on you. It is on you. You have selectively been selected, in life, to carry a burden for others, for others and to others, that most people can't carry, but you're doing it. You have the ability, and you have the commitment, you have the level, you have the intestinal fortitude, and you have the will that most people just don't have. And so everybody else needs to be very afraid of those that I'm dealing with, if that's the case, because the reality of it is you possess something that's going to push you through all those adversities that you're facing right now. The physical adversities, the mental adversities, the financial adversities, just all of the different adversities that you're going through right now. You possess the will and the strength and the capability to push through it. And like I'm telling you all the time, count it all joy. Count it all joy. God places this and placed you in this position specifically because you are built for this. You are built for this. And so, and to give, the world a glimpse of how I know this is because the fact of the matter is those who deal with me in and of itself, speaks volumes of you. It speaks volumes of your character, of your strength, of your endurance, of your willingness to grow and to push yourself to higher limits, because I am not an easy person to deal with, but I'm not an easy person by design. God and my Father designed me like this on purpose. I don't intentionally do the things and say the things to you guys that to intentionally push you. This is just how I am. But God made me like this for a reason, to be able to help, build leaders, help leaders lead better, to help those that are, that are strong enough to even lead me to be, to get back in the game, because you've been knocked down. Life has been hard on you. It's been hard. And people can say it's been hard on a lot of people. Guess what? Here's the thing. Yes, things have been hard on a lot of people, but things ain't been this hard on everybody. And the reality of it is because most people can't take this amount of pressure, especially for 30, 40 years, 50 years. Come on now. But the people that I'm dealing with and people that I'm working with, you possess that. You possess the ability because you're still in the game. You're committed. You're showing up. You're having the conversations. And how I know? Because you're talking to me. Because you're telling me. Because, you're showing me on a week in and week out basis. And so, kudos to you, hats off to you, because you are possessing and you're demonstrating something that the average person just, is not able to demonstrate. You're demonstrating something. Now, I'm not talking about to me. I'm talking about to yourself, to the world. You're demonstrating something. That's what's going to propel you to the levels that you're seeking. That's what's going to, bring to fruition the goals that you've set before you, that you're working on and that God has put inside of you. And so this is just a moment of, encouragement, to you, but, a warning sign to the world. These folks that I'm dealing with, guess what? They coming. They coming. They got something. They got something that the rest of y'all don't got. They got the ability to commit, at a deep level to unlearn and relearn and learn new things. And they're doing that. And here's the thing. They have life experience under their belt and the ability to learn new things as we're going along and everything. So, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting, especially in a time like this, but time, you're made for a time just like this. So count it all joy. Count it all joy. He won't put more on you can bear. That much is for sure. But the reality of it is you're in there. You know how I know? Because we're talking on a regular basis. We're doing this on a regular basis, week in and week out. week in and week out. And as I'm talking to, even newer ones and so forth, the reality of it is if we've spoken in the last 2 months, you know what I've said to you. Take that to heart. Take that to heart and know that if you've spoken to me in the last 2 months, privately, what we've talked about, you're in the game. You're in the game. So let's take this thing to a whole new level. As we wrap up 2026, 2025 going to 2026. I'm already wrapping up 2026 in my mind. I ain't gonna lie to you. As we go into 2027, that's what's in my mind. But as we wrap up 2025, just know, those of you, you know who you are. You in the game. You in the game, and you getting it. You getting it. I'm excited. So let's go get it. God bless.